We are live. Hello, everyone. This is Sonia. I'm the co-founder of Boutique NYC. I think you know that. Hope all is well and you're enjoying the beautiful weather wherever you are. Thank you for being here for our Meet the Founder event where we introduce you to indie brand founders that are super unique at Boutique. And before we get started with our special guest, I just want to mention that if you have any question, please leave them below and our guest Nisha will answer them at the end. Nisha Dearborn is the founder of Fresh Chemistry. It's a fresh, clean, and high-performance skincare line launched in 2019 with two amazing products, the Glow Getter Brightening Serum and the Wrinkle Release Peptide Serum. What makes Fresh Chemistry pop up and different is that they found a way to produce a clean product that can get safely to your hand, mixed just a few minutes before its first use. The freshness in its purest form. And Nisha has an extensive background in beauty and she's born in skincare knowledge as her mom is a dermatologist. So let's get started. It's my pleasure to welcome Nisha Dearborn, the founder of Fresh Chemistry. Hi, Nisha. Thanks for being here. We're so excited.
Hi, Sonia. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Same here. Then we're not going to take more time. My first question is, tell us a little bit more about you and how you get started with Fresh Chemistry.
Absolutely. So you mentioned a little bit of it. People joke that I was born in a skincare handbasket because my mom is a retired dermatologist. I spent my summers as a kid in her office. Then I started working in her office. I turned that passion into a career. I ended up spending almost a decade in the beauty industry, working for companies like Johnson & Johnson, managing brands that were both skincare, like Aveeno, as well as just household brands like Tylenol, Listerine. And then a few years ago, we made a family move up to Maine, which is where I am now. And for those of you who are not familiar with Maine, it's just a very healthy lifestyle place. And you will see people of all ages, even in their 70s and 80s, riding bikes, jogging on the street. So when I moved here, I felt like I needed to really step up my game and start, being healthier. I started paying attention to groceries that I was buying, ingredients I was putting in my food, meal planning for my family. And I noticed that when I was planning a meal, I always wanted to start with foods that were in my fridge or on my countertop, like the produce, the vegetables, the fruits, because those are healthier for you than the things that you would find in your pantry, like the canned goods or the pasta. Because we all know that the food that's fresher is better for your body. And that's when I just had this aha moment that in the beauty industry, we make products for the world, for women, like the products that are made in your pantry. They're made a long time ago. They're intentionally made to be shelf stable and sit on a shelf for a long time. And that whole time between when they're made and when they get to you, the ingredients are slowly breaking down and getting weaker. And once I had this aha, I know from growing up in my mom's dermatology office how important ingredients are. And I know from working on brands how products are made, and I just knew that there had to be a better way. And once I saw it and started to think about how stale everybody's skincare was, I couldn't unsee it. I just felt like there was something I had to do about it. So I launched Fresh Chemistry, which is the only brand where the active ingredients are packaged separately. So they're sealed, fresh, and potent. They're delivered to you. You add in the actives right when you're ready to use the product. You shake to activate. And then every time you're using the product, your ingredients are fresh, your ingredients are potent, and then the product is going to be more efficacious. So you start to see results quicker. I always joke with people when they're first time orders of the product, I tell them, just keep a lookout in the first 2 weeks and see who comments on your skin, because somebody will, and you'll start to wonder, what is it that I'm doing differently? And that's a very typical thing that happens to people who start using Fresh Chemistry.
And that's what is Fresh Chemistry. Is it, people can think when you mix products together, it's like a DIY. Would you consider yourself, your brand, a DIY company or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that, for the people who like DIY, I fully welcome them to try it. I think they will enjoy that kind of self-assembly at home step. But I actually don't consider this a DIY product at all, because when I think of DIY, I think of seeing a product that's out there and replicating it with easy to access ingredients, things that you might find around your home that you can replicate something that's already out there. To me, this is not that at all, because we poured a lot of time and effort and knowledge into choosing our ingredients. They're actually super high-end ingredients that you would never be able to just get easily. So instead, I consider this more of high-performance skincare that it's just really all about not only the ingredients and the type of ingredients, but how they are mixed, when they're activated and delivered to your skin.
Speaking of ingredients, which is very important, and I know it from a fact it's very important for you, what made you choose one ingredient over the other? How was the journey? Because it was a whole journey.
It was a journey. It was actually one of the most fun parts about creating the skincare line was when you are typically working, let's say, for a brand that has existing products on the market. When you go to create a new product, you're actually constrained by what ingredients you can use. You need to use the ingredients they've already used, because that's just the most cost-efficient way of doing business. When I'm starting my own brand and I was able to choose what I wanted, it was like a kid in the candy store. Like, I could go and pick the best of the best. So what I did first was found experts. So I have a panel of experts who together have over 30 years in the beauty business working on ingredients, and had them help select the exact right ingredients. And I would say to them, if you could pick any ingredient out there that you know is going to work for brightening, for smoothing of skin, what are the best things out there? And once we selected them, actually, once you start to look, you realize there's even more selection than you'd ever know. For example, if you're picking a vitamin C, of course, there's different kinds of vitamin C. But then once you select the type, you start to look at molecular weight. You have to think about, do you want this to sit on the surface of your skin, or do you want it to be the right size and weight to absorb into skin? And different products, you want different things. So we looked at molecular weight. We looked at the pH level, how the pH levels would blend. So ultimately, when you put it on your skin, it's not interrupting the barrier. We did so much investigation into hand selecting these products, which makes me so excited for what's in there, because not only are they fresh and potent and active when they touch your skin, which is incredibly important, but the ones that we selected, I argue, are the best that are out there.
And just a question that comes to my mind, was the cost of the ingredients themselves, like they were an issue, or for you it was just about the quality of the ingredients?
I was fortunate that when you're doing something for the first time, I just went for quality. You know, I think as you have to, you know, people worry about, either you're a big company, you have to first think of cost. In my whole career, we would start our ingredient search with a cost target. This was the first time I did not start with a cost target, because I just wanted to create a beautiful product and see if people liked it and people buy it. And if people buy it because they like the quality, then you don't have to worry about the cost target. So yeah, this was all about quality.
And that's why indie brands, you know, the indie brands are a movement. They are changing the whole picture of the beauty industry, because Nisha is an example. It's not about the cost. It's about really bringing the best quality ever and creating the best product. Then the question that comes to me is, how long did it take you to get to the end result, the end formula?
Sure. So I started in 2018 on formulation and finding ingredients and creating products, going back and forth with my chemist over and over till I found something that we were really excited about. I then tested with consumers in end of 2018 to ask them, I just wanted feedback on, does this smell okay? It's fragrance free. So you want to make sure people are okay with the way it smells. You know, does it feel good on the skin? Does it absorb right? I was looking for really feedback to go back to the lab. And the feedback I got from women was, this is great, but I'm running out. Where can I buy this? Like, my skin looks so good, but I can't run out of this bottle. Like, where do I get more? And it was that feedback, honestly, that made me feel encouraged to just go out and launch the brand without going back to the bench, because people were so excited about it. So we did all the formulation work late 2017 into 2018. And then at the beginning of 2019 was when I was convinced I should just try to see how to start a business on my own, which was the first time doing that. And then we launched by the end of 2019.
Congratulations for that. I know it takes a lot of effort and work to get to the end result. You have two products. You launched with two products. And how would you compare, give us a hint about your products and their effect on the skin, and how would you compare them, for similar, not similar because it's not similar, there's no similarity, but some product that use maybe some mix of your ingredients. How would you compare your products and
Sure.
hint about
Sure.
it?
So I have two products. They are here. This is the Glow Getter, if you can see that there. And this is the Wrinkle Release Peptide Serum. And so the Glow Getter is a brightening serum. It's all about brightening, making sure your skin looks more even toned, giving you that lit from within glow back. And the Wrinkle Release Peptide Serum is all about filling in those fine lines, smoothing out your skin. Each of them come with these vials that are the active ingredients that are packaged separately. So these three vials come with a packet. When you get it, you just pour all of these in at once, shake to activate, and use the product. So the way that these are different, I mean, I could go on and on. Tell me if you want to hear more about the ingredients that are in here and how fabulous they are. But again, only really a lot of ingredients are not created equal. It is cheaper, a lot cheaper, and a lot more cost efficient to pick cheaper ingredients. It's just the way it is. And so when you look out on the market, there can be things that advertise vitamin C, but if you ask clinical scientists about that type of vitamin C, they will say, well, maybe that was the concentration when they put it in the product, but by the time it has been sitting on the shelf for that many months, that product is not active anymore. Or that type of vitamin C, actually the molecule is too large to be absorbed by the skin. So people can talk about how much is in the product, but if it doesn't get absorbed by the skin, it's not really working. So I would say ours is different, again, by the choice of the ingredients, but also it's almost like food, right? If you have white bread that you bought from the store that was made a long time ago and has an expiry date of like 4 weeks, that can sit on your counter, or if you make fresh bread yourself, there is a time where that bread is fresh. That's when you want to eat it. That's when it's healthier for you. And there, again, there'll be better ingredients in the fresh bread than there was in the store-bought white bread, but it's also all about the freshness and how much that really matters to what goes in your body and how well it works with your body naturally.
Speaking of fresh, because we were discussing, me and Nisha, before the event, how fresh is really her lifestyle, because even you see the decor, it's her office. I mean, it's so fresh. I mean, this is not like about marketing or anything. This is like so genuine and authentic. And this is why you are a mission-driven brand that we love so much. I mean, since the first time we met you, you have very high level energy, you are really mission driven. Then share with us, please, with our audience, the mission that you would like to share with your customer.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, I believe that women deserve the best. That's where it all comes from. And I think we are having, as women, we're having our moment in time where we're now starting to demand, what we have always deserved. And we're now asking for it and demanding it. And I think in skincare, it's one of the last places where I still don't feel like we're being as honest with women as we should be. I think women want skincare that works. I think they want to know what ingredients are in them. I think that they want to know how it works, why it works. And I was fortunate enough to grow up with some of that knowledge working in my mom's office. It was only when I became an adult and in the industry that I realized so many women don't know, because it's just a confusing place. You go into the aisle, whether it be in Target or the department store or Sephora, it's overwhelming. And I believe that women deserve the truth and the best. And I think the best in skincare is all about ingredients that work. And the ingredients that work are the ones that are at their peak. So I'm, starting my mission for women in skincare and giving them the truth, the tools that they need to make their skin look better, kind of empower them, put it in their hands. You mix it, you activate it, you have control over what your skin looks like in the future. Because I truly believe if we give women the tools and the information they need, they will change the world.
I agree with you. And we are women ourselves, then we know that. speaking of women, you are a woman, I'm a woman, but you're a woman in business as well. And it's not an easy journey being in business, and as a woman we want to celebrate women, and as it's Meet the Founder, we like to bring the badass moment that you and I like this part very much. I love the whole part of the event, but this one also is so great because it brings our strength as women. Then, do you remember some badass moment that you had in your life that you're like, oh, I'm proud of myself, Nisha. Look at me. Would
Yeah,
you share
yeah.
some?
I think I heard someone say today, if there's nobody clapping for you, you have to clap for yourself. So
Absolutely.
I think that identifying these moments are important. If I think about some recent business challenges, if we really think about all of us, I'm sure anyone listening to this can probably think about the last year as one of the most challenging years we've all had. I think we could probably all identify a badass moment or two in the past year because we've all had to face a lot and overcome a lot. So I'm sure people listening will be able to identify with this. If I think specifically about my business, I go back to the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, I think anyone who's trying to run a business or run a family in this time, it was a shocking time. For me in particular, I had just been approached by QVC, which I think many people know is a TV channel that is like TV online shopping. And they are really big in the industry. They can really make new stars from small brands to big brands. And they found me and they wanted me to come on the show and they offered me a contract and we signed the deal like the day before the pandemic hit. And I signed it very tentatively because what they were asking, it was a big deal for me, but I also wasn't sure I would be able to fulfill what they were asking for. They wanted me to make products for them, but were 5 times the amount that I had ever made before, which means it's just a huge undertaking to do something 5 times the size. But I tentatively, or confidently said, yes, I can do it. I'm sure I can do it. And then the next day we got word that the schools were closing, everything was closing. And I still remember when I got that text that our school was closing, which I thought was for 2 weeks. I have 2 kids who are at the time were 6 and 8. And I thought I was going to throw up. I thought I was either going to cry or throw up or both. I was like, I can't have my kids home for 2
I
weeks.
relate.
Right. Like I just promised this thing to QVC that's going to take every ounce of my being. Like I can't have my kids home. And then, fast forward, the kids are home for over a year. So I think, the badass moment then was deciding, how are you going to deal with this? Right. Are you going to retreat or are you going to show up? And I decided, it's now or never. Like either I have to walk away or I have to double down on the business. And I decided to double down. So during that first COVID time when everything was in shutdown and you couldn't, even talk to people on the phone because they weren't at work, I decided if I was going to be on QVC, I wanted to put my best foot forward. I first worked on upgrading the packaging and the branding. So I actually redid some of our logo and colors and some of the stuff on the website because I figured those are all digital things that can be done, via email over design. So I use the downtime, if you will. There's no downtime when everyone's home, but I use the downtime to basically upgrade the look of the brand. And then as soon as I could, I reached out to all the suppliers of raw materials. I mean, to make these products, to get all the ingredients, you're going to contact at least 25 different companies, from the labels to the bottles to all the ingredients. And everybody's in a COVID protocol, but to source all those ingredients, I'm happy to say I relaunched the website, manufactured all the products, got everything to QVC, was on the show, virtually, of course. And then that was super successful. I sold more in that weekend on QVC than I had in the whole year prior. So it was great. I feel like it was a tough time when you are faced with a new situation and burden that you've never seen before, but sometimes you just have to decide, am I going to bet on myself? And if I don't bet on myself, who will, right? So I bet on myself, and I'm happy to say I'm on QVC. My kids are alive. they've survived a year of me teaching them in school, and we're all happy and healthy, thank God. So I think that is my badass moment.
Oh, I'm glad for you, or for whoever is listening to us today. QVC, just to give you a hint, QVC, when a company launches, it's one of the goal because they have such a huge audience on TV. They've been for years on TV, and you can really be like on Shark Tank, the queen of QVC. We know her. I mean, she made all her fortune on QVC. Then having this deal a few months after your launch is like huge for a company.
Thank you.
This launch is huge. Like, congratulations for that. And managing this with the pandemic, with all of us, we were like, we didn't know what to do. And being a mother in the same time, and keep your head straight and fighting, all this and getting through it. Congrats. Like, I'm really,
thank you.
This is really a huge badass. I mean, and this is to show that we are strong women. We are strong, and we have all the fear. I mean, when we face something, we feel the fear.
Absolutely.
Like the reaction was to throw up. We have headaches, sick. We can be having reaction on skin. But we still do it. Then the courage is really to still do it, even if we feel that emotion that want to take us like so far from it. Then congratulations.
1,000%. I told everyone last year that by this time my hair would be completely gray, but I'm fine with that, and I was going to get it done.
and even the pandemic, we are at the end of it, at least I hope. I mean, at least we see some life outside, and
absolutely
well, and we're going through it. Human being, we're strong by nature.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing this, Nisha. We have a question from Jacqueline. Jacqueline is with us. Hi, Jacqueline. She said, what's something you've learned since launching Fresh Chemistry that you wish you would have known sooner? Thank you for asking, Jacqueline.
Oh, that's a good question. I think there's kind of twofold learning. One is basically, I think you know more than you think you know, and on the same side, you don't know a lot of things. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of things out there to learn. For example, how to set up a website, how to get products made, how to advertise on social media, how to reach out to retailers. And I think you need to decide what are those things that you are an expert in and what are you not an expert in. So don't try to do it all. Things will go quicker and be more efficient and more professionally done if you find the experts to help you in those areas. So that's part of where I would say, the sooner you learn that, I think the better. And I found that along my journey. On the flip side, I think I would say, trust your instincts. You know more than you think you do. So a lot of times if you are working and you think something doesn't seem right, I feel like there could be a better way. I really feel like I want to do this differently. I would say whenever I have trusted my instincts in those areas, it has turned out better than when I try to follow what I think everybody else would do or what is standardly done. So I would say I'm constantly learning in this job. I think that's one of the best parts and the most fulfilling parts. But I would say my advice would be find experts, even if they're friends who know how to do something because they've done it and you haven't. Find experts to ask questions to, but at the same time, trust your instincts and follow your instincts because it'll be more authentic and oftentimes more successful.
Thank you for your answer. I hope, Jacqueline, you get your answer. Jacqueline is with us, and it's a very knowledgeable answer. You get through it. Thank you so much, Nisha. This is very inspiring. I hope you enjoyed what Nisha shared with you today. Thanks for coming and for doing the event with us. Jacqueline is saying thanks for answering. very insightful. And thank you for coming, Jacqueline. Thank you for asking the question. Whoever is watching, thank you for watching us. We have upcoming live event. Just stay tuned and you will receive email. You can subscribe to our calendar. That way you will know, you will have the notification. Also, what we have new at Boutique, next week we have a pop-up store in Soho. We are doing it a collaboration with Doors. It's a retail and PR platform. And we are doing 1 week where we have participant brands. There's independent fashion designer, art and technology together. It's good. We're coming back to life. Then we want to see people and talk to people and connect and show the brands that we have at Boutique. Then hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Thank you so much, Nisha. It was a pleasure. And
Thank you, Sonia.
see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.